You look at the mainstream news, and it's like this part of the world doesn't even exist. It might as well be on another planet because there's absolutely nothing about it whatsoever. So, like I have said before, I'm going to do my very best to bring you the news out of this region that is relevant for your life. Now, just as a quick stop along the way to that, um, there is a great deal of beauty in the world. There really is. And from Earther, they put out these new images from this new Noaa satellite. And if anybody hasn't seen this, these are some incredible, incredible images. This thing is in geostationary orbit, and I'm sure the flat earthers are going to have a field day. They have picked up so much garbage over the years of this flat earth nonsense. And instead of NASA, now it'll be Noaa that they can go after to put forth their conspiracy theories. But my one question for them would be this. If the Earth is really flat and the sun is in our atmosphere, how can it be moving at Mach 1.5 around the flat Earth circle silently with no noise whatsoever, no sonic boom? Because even your flat Earth circle at the equator is 27,000 miles, and it covers that in 24 hours, so it's moving over 1,000 miles an hour. So you would have to assume that there would be some evidence of convection, and as soon as it would encounter any water in the atmosphere, it would immediately turn into steam, and we don't see any of that. So anyway, my question out there for the flat earthers, a few of them have come here, and like, that's why I don't believe in flat earth, along with a few other reasons. But speaking of silence, it is deafening, absolutely deafening, after all of the yammer and talk about the elections in Venezuela that went off with literally no violence and no problems whatsoever. And we've shown how the streets of Caracas are perfectly fine, and people are going to work, and nobody looks like they're starving. And not only that, they are actually sending aid to Cuba. There was the storm Alberto that went through. We covered this in yesterday's video. And they sent 12 tons. I mean, they're having problems there, don't get me wrong, but that they, according to the mainstream media, they are just this zombie society where everybody is starving and losing weight and picking through the trash and all this other nonsense. So, and like I said, not saying it's not happening in certain places, but we have definitively shot down the mainstream media story. But nothing about the 105 politicians murdered in Mexico before their upcoming elections. And nothing about what's going on in Colombia and the absolute incredible level of fraud that's been observed, and not a word from the international community about the election results that were completely tainted. See how they do it down there? They're still having an election. They had their initial runoff, and there's 5 people, and nobody got 50%, so the top 2 are going to run and vote on the 17th of June, and then whoever gets 50% after that, why they just don't run 2 to begin with, it's another story. But anyway, but just to give you an example, this is an actual voter form that was turned in, kid you not, from a district in Colombia. Now, what you have here is this is the hundreds column, the tens column, the ones column. So this Gustavo Petro got 23 votes. And people who left their vote blank were 7. And Ivan Duque, the globalist candidate, got apparently 279 votes. Not just 79 votes, 279 votes. See, and that's what they do. They find places where he was already going to win anyway, where it wasn't close, and they pad the numbers there, thinking nobody's going to look. They're only going to look at the ones that are, close. See, these people are smart. They know how and where to fudge the numbers, how to push the numbers up. And it's hilarious. This is the current president. This is a quote from him before the election. The extreme left is like the extreme right. They invent frauds where they don't exist. This will be the most secure, most transparent, and best guaranteed presidential election in Colombia's history. And that's their definition of it. And this isn't made up. And there's a half a dozen of these. You can go to Columbia Reports and Telesur, and they have 6 or 8 of these cards that they found with all sorts of irregularities like this, where they've turned dashes into sixes, and it just added votes everywhere. And of course, this guy here in the middle, Ivan Duque, he is the big pro-business, pro-globalist candidate that they are trying to install. And I think you can read and you can see why. This is an article here talking about Colombia being NATO's first Latin American global partner. I don't even understand the concept here. NATO stands for the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. It was created to combat the USSR and combat communism. And what Latin America is in Latin America. It's south of the South Atlantic. And it's in the North American Treaty Organization. But of course, they're giving them money. And that's what this is really about. This is about the amount of money that they're going to be giving them to... the European Union will allocate an additional 15 million euros to the implementation of the peace process in Colombia. What this basically means is we're going to give Colombia another $15 million to kill the people who want to maintain sovereignty in the region. In addition to the 220 million that Brussels has already contributed to quote-unquote resolve the conflict, basically disarm and destroy the FARC, disarm and destroy the ELN, and let the right-wing paramilitaries do whatever the hell they want. That's what this is about. And it's just it's a sick thing to see the silence, to see absolutely no one in our media anywhere even attempting to cover the issue, to even put forth both sides, whether you agree with or disagree with one way or the other. Nobody's even bringing it up. I mean, can you imagine 105 politicians murdered in Mexico because they're trying to stop the same thing here? Meaning that the people that want to maintain sovereignty and maintain nationalism and not go the big globalist way, they have to be pushed out. They have to be gotten rid of. And we have to be Can-Americo, and whatever they want to add South American to that, whatever acronym they want to create, that's what they want to do. That everybody is all going to be all the same. And also in this article from Vanguardia, they talk about, implementing how they're just a peaceful group of people that want to implement women into the military. And natural disasters caused by climate change, cyber defense and risk management and demining, and it's just ridiculous. And they're not even trying to hide it down there anymore because they've realized that the mainstream media, the people that would be in a position to reveal something like this, have no interest in it. They've bought them off. They've realized, why even have the debate? Why even risk having a movement stand up that could, tell the story in the way that it should be told, giving both sides, and letting people decide for themselves. They can't do that anymore. They either can give you the propaganda that makes them look good, or they just won't tell you at all. And that's their two choices. So anyway, this is the news. This is what's going on. We are watching the issue with the dam very closely. It doesn't seem to be getting better, but there's no new news. They still have not allowed workers to go back into that region. But as soon as they do, or if they do, we will let you know. But Telesur, Columbia Reports, and this is Vanguardia.com. Great sources. Really, really great sources for news if you really want to keep up on what is going on in Latin America, not just, the North American version of what Latin America is. And like I said, this article from Earther is really, really great. If you have some flat earth friends and you want to tweak them, this would be the best way to do it. Because life can't be all serious. You have to be, have a little bit of fun. But the images are spectacular. They really, really are. You can see the level of detail is just incredible. And of course that screen would go black, but This thing is this satellite is in geostationary orbit, moving at almost Mach 9, and will be doing so for the next 15 years, maintaining station over the United States, sending back incredible, incredible images. This is over Chile, and it's just something that you just don't get to see every day. So take advantage of this while you can. So we will leave it there. Like, share, subscribe, and we will see you next time. Thank you.